Hey guys, gals, welcome back to Mr. Beefy Presents, coming from Doom Bunker 1 today. Not financial advice, do your own research. This is a conspiracy or whatever it is, right? So, what if the dollar died? Hang on here. Put the tinfoil hat on. All right. So, everybody is talking about hyperinflation, and then you got Kathy Wood and all those people screaming deflation and all that stuff. Could happen. So we're going to talk about some stuff on kind of how it would go, what would do well, what wouldn't do well, kind of the causes and effects and all that stuff, right? And trying to do it really quick so I don't chew up a lot of your time. So with that being said, let's roll into it. So let's just say in the near future, let's pull up a little chart here, right? This is gold. Let's go to the DXY. So the DXY is a measure of the US dollar against a basket of other currencies, right? So right now we're in kind of like a little downtrend, right? So let's just say I've got two scenarios here, right? One, we come back up to the top and we dump back down, which is probably best for everybody. Or option number two, hit blast off to Jupiter, right? Which is not good. I don't know if you've seen the news. Gosh, I can't. Oh, let me throw this back on. He's a Pete. I don't know if you've seen the news about Sri Lanka, shortages on fuel, people rioting, overthrowing the government, and all that stuff, right? They had a debt problem and they couldn't get US dollars. So as this DXY shoots up, debt for smaller third world nations become extremely hard to repay, and so they default and they can't get the basic needs for its citizens to survive, right? Not good, right? So if the US dollar went parabolic, right? Everybody thinks the dollar being worth less would cause the dollar's demise. I actually think it's the opposite. It's the dollar's strength that will kill it. So the DXY blast off, right? And then you have a wave of third world countries filing bankruptcy, asking for emergency loans, riots, famine, most of the first world having to airdrop food and stuff like that in these nations. So it would become such a problem, that if it kept on going and J Pal's phone was blowing up saying, you need to stop what you're doing and start printing money ASAP. Well, we can't do that. We don't have 2% inflation. We don't care. So at that point, some of the smaller, let's just say some of the bloc nations start denominating debt in a new currency. Not because the dollar's weak, because it's too strong. So as this stuff is happening, life here in the United States is super. Everybody they're making products, just nothing, food's abundant, stuff like that, right? And then finally, the Fed says, okay, we see that there's going to be an issue. We're going to start printing money. Don't worry, the rest of the world. America to the rescue. So we start printing massive amounts of money. Massive amounts. Flood the world. Take care of the debt issues. But the rest of the world says, we've learned a valuable lesson. We can't be caught holding dollars. We're moving away from it. Now the alarms really go off. We've just printed $20 trillion, whatever it may be, to satisfy world debt, to stop famine and riots from going on, right? and now we're left holding the bag. So Fed, Congress, Senator, all that stuff, they frantically try to figure out how to absorb that debt, right? Or how to suck up that excess liquidity in the market. They can't. So things here in America go from really good to really bad really quick. The dollars, now those who have secured debt, home loans, car loans, as the dollar falls, your debt's still the same. So it benefits those. Those with variable credit cards and stuff like that, not so much. That's the bad debt. So with that being said, you get a snowball effect, right? And then finally, unemployment spikes, all this stuff, it gets out of control, right? The government's probably going to have to be forced to pause mortgage payments, kind of like what happened during the pandemic. A lot like that, actually. Probably mortgages would stop, banks would be reassured. It would be crazy frantic, right? And let's just say it collapses further to where nobody wants to accept the dollar anymore. This is where it gets real interesting. The United States has had a history of accepting multiple different currencies. We had tobacco was a currency at one time. We had each state had its own little local bank currency and so on, right? That would happen again. So as this progresses, and it all depends on which direction it go. It could be a soft flip to like a CBDC, where the central bank says, "Don't worry, America, we got you a new currency coming out. You just got to download this Fed Now wallet, and we'll airdrop it to you. Helicopter cash. But we can control how you spend it now. So this is how we control inflation and deflation. We can either pump it in your wallet or take it out without you knowing it. Or we go into a full-blown panic, right? And there's two types of things. People always talk about gold, silver, and now Bitcoin as a store of value, right? So that may work in a situation where it's a short-term bridge. You know where you're going. You know that other currency that's coming, right? And gold or Bitcoin or whatever is that vessel to get you there, right? So it takes your wealth and it transitions, kind of like going to a euro or to a different currency, right? That gold will still be worth the same in that other currency as it was before, right? So it's kind of how it would go. Now, if things got a little bit darker, temple hat, you would have like a barter system, right? And this is where, in the thumbnail, I had a bottle of bourbon and stuff like that, right? So if I was a regular Joe, and let's just say it's full-blown barter, right? We haven't heard nothing from government in weeks. Grocery stores are cleaned out. We don't know what to do, right? If someone come up to me and said, "Hey, look, Beefy, I need some bourbon." I'm like, "Great. I need some steak or eggs or whatever. Have you got that?" "Yeah." "Let's make a trade." Right? My family's got to eat, and they can't eat gold and they can't eat Bitcoin, right? And I don't imagine in a dark world, who knows if we have internet or not, right? You walk up to Farmer Dan and you say, "Here's my cold wallet. Will you take some Bitcoin for some corn?" He'll probably get thrown out of there, right? So, temple hat. I always keep a little bit of bourbon and stuff like that. I like to drink it. I won't go to waste. But I keep stuff in a spot just in case, right? I also have a little bit of gold. Have Bitcoin, so I'm somewhat prepared. But essentially, this is how it would go until something else was formed. And if it, let's just say, worst case scenario, the government failed, then you would most likely see a local denominated currency in your area, either a state dollar, a city dollar, whatever, right? People are very innovative and very creative. So it wouldn't be long before a terms of exchange would change and something would be adopted. I don't think it would get that far, me personally speaking. I don't think the world would let it get that far. We've had fairly peaceful transitions once the world has figured out what currency they want to go with. But this is hypothetical. And don't, for God's sakes, don't go out and do something stupid. Don't go out and buy 15 cases of bourbon and come home and your wife's like, what are you doing? Mr. Beefy says bourbon's the hot ticket. Speculation, right? Speculation. All right. If you guys like this, I'll also do little stock overviews of the market and stuff like that. Probably do some other stuff like this as well. If you enjoyed the content, give me a like, give me a sub. I'm giving away like $500 or something like that in the one of the other giveaways on the live stream. If you want to jump over there, all you have to do is comment, sub, and then once you win, I'll send you a message or something like that. That'd be the only way I message you. So good luck. And if you guys like it, give me a like, give me a sub. But let me know what you think below. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. I hope you have a wonderful Monday and happy holidays. Beefy out.